Hey, my name is Kath. I live in this van with my dog Walter. Join us as we head into the mountains to try and have our first solo backpacking trip in Angeles National Forest. This is a 24-hour Planet Fitness, but I really hate staying at Planet Fitnesses because it feels like the perfect place to get the knock. It is 4:52. I haven't had to move from the Planet Fitness parking lot yet, but there's construction right here, and they must be laying asphalt, and I can't sleep anymore because the whole van smells like asphalt. I already turned, I can almost taste it on my tongue. So we're gonna go. So we headed off and up to Angeles National Forest. On the way, we tried to stop at the local gas station to buy an adventure pass for the National Forest, which happened to be closed. So plan B was to buy one from the visitor center. But once we made it up to the mountain and got to the visitor center, we found out that they were not open on Mondays. So we decided to take our chances and headed to the trailhead. First on the agenda was eating our breakfasts, and then packing our bags to start our hike for the day. Are you ready for breakfast? Yeah, that was part of our breakfast right there, that banana. As usual, I came here a little too quickly and unprepared, not knowing what to expect of the trail, how long it would be, and what I would be doing for the day. I was pleasantly surprised by these beautiful waterfalls and small pools that happened along the trail. This is Ice House Canyon Trail in Angeles National Forest, an extremely popular trail in the Cucamonga Wilderness. While heading up, we found many ruins of cabins. This one still had some of the bed frames that once were inside of it, along with a washing machine and other odds and ends. I love being able to explore how things used to be in the past, so this was one of my favorite stops on the trail. There's also something about the sun's rays and lens flares that just adds a whimsy and a magic to the trail, and I loved seeing the glittering of the bugs and the flies in the light through the trees. Though I did not love being attacked by them while on the trail, and you'll see what I mean in a bit. On the way up, I found these hundreds of thousands of ladybugs that were nestled in the tops of the rocks. And then this cabin. Does this not look like the most beautiful cabin you've ever seen? And then some ants that had made their path so prominent that they wore into the rock. And here are the bugs that I was talking about.
I was planning on doing the loop, and then I was hoping that it was possible for me to make it to a peak, but my shoulders hurt and I'm tired. I'm at 74 elevation.
This is the trail that we've done so far, and we have made it to the center point here. I was hoping that I was going to be able to go up to this timber mountain, but instead we're going to loop back and around this big loop and then back to the van. This part is Chapman Trail. This is the top part of the loop that you saw, And I'm very glad that I ended up deciding to take this way back instead of doing an in and out because it gave me these views. I also got to see a lot of flowers and a stream
What do you think?
that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to see. At one point, though, I wasn't paying attention, and on these ledges I slipped and started to slide off the mountain. I also didn't realize how much less water there would be on this part of the trail and almost ran out. But I did find these bees, these butterflies, and ladybugs in these beautiful yellow flowers with a mountain's backdrop view. Once we made it back to the main trail, I found all of those ladybugs from earlier in the morning had woken up and were now flying through the air and covering everything. It was such a beautiful experience. I had never seen so many ladybugs in my life.
That water is ice cold. Ice cold, like a few seconds and your legs start to go numb.
That evening, we found an adventure pass, got more gas, and slept for the night before heading back up the mountain the next day. Yesterday, when I was hiking back down, I saw a couple who had camped, and I decided that I too wanted to try and solo camp in Angeles National Forest. I found a trail not too far away, but at a different trailhead in a different part of the mountain, and I headed over there, but it looked so much different despite how close together these places were. I tried to head to that trailhead, but I ended up on this rocky mountain road and having a few weird encounters that put me a bit on edge. Vastly different. The area, the landscape, everything just seems like so different. And whenever I went to the visitor center to talk to a park ranger about my fee and see if I could just pay them for it, and they were giving me a number, there was a person in there who was screaming and being very aggressive. One of the things I worry about traveling alone is people seeing who is driving the van and then deciding to try and find my van and my campsite later. So I decided to go incognito, which means that I threw on my sun hoodie to cover up my hair and my face so I drew less attention to myself.
And hike from
Walter kind of looks like he's holding on for dear life. Okay. I would still have to drive like 2 full miles on roads like this, and I anticipate they will get worse over time. And I just, as I scrape the entire side of my van, the downside is like that hike is going to be like this. Pretty little creek that runs through these areas though. You know. Gorgeous. Imagine having that directly in your backyard. Okay, you can take my disguise off. I drove around the area and down the road looking for a potential campsite for the evening. Something that would scream I'm on an adventure. Sadly, all I found were some side-of-the-road turnouts, with no cell phone service and an abundance of bugs entering the van the moment the door opened. I decided instead to prepare my backpack for tomorrow's adventure and then head back down the mountain to sleep at the Cracker Barrel. I'm getting ready. Here's my backpack. I'm on this huge decline right now, which is making it to where like everything is sliding this way. So this is actually what it looks like. Because it's on horizon balancing. This is actually the angle you can see the van. Right now I am just trying to double check that I have everything and then skedaddle, right? I am also waiting. I have to feed Walter. I'm going to feed myself, even though I kind of want to hit the road. I'm going to have a coffee. Look how slanted the van is. This is my least favorite thing. So we started our hike. 20 feet into our hike, Walter decided that he did not want to go. I think he was sore from the previous day, and he kept stopping and refusing to walk, turning around and trying to head back to the van every moment he could. Just as stubborn as him, I decided instead to put him on my back and carry him up the trail. This was what we were planning to do for today. Hike up to this peak and planned to camp at the top. Now, this is how far we actually made it. Not far into the trail. So I decided to stop and reevaluate and figure out what we could do instead.
I've decided we're going to do instead. Honestly, part of me wants to just set up my camp like right here or something. But I know you're not supposed to do that. What we're going to do instead is we're going to try and hike the 2 miles to another campsite that we passed yesterday. That's not as much elevation and half as far. And we'll set up there.
Because I hiked this route yesterday, I already knew that there would be no water at our campsite, so I stopped at the same little stream and I filled up all of my water.
The features in my face are high enough to form a present smile. The people I just met a while ago. To help lift off this heavy weight.
There are already mosquitoes in
Push
here
it back another day.
because
I know
or
it's
flies or whatever.
anyway. So what the hell's another day?
Just simply because there are so many. It's only like 10:30, so we're here at camp super early, and there's lots of bugs. After setting up the tent and guzzling down a few liters of water, I went ahead and set up my bed and my mattress, doing everything that I could to get camp ready. The only problem is because we did not do that long and difficult inclined hike up to the peak of the mountain, it was very early in the day. Very early, like before 11 a.m. Now it's summer and it doesn't get dark until 8:30. I was not prepared for so much time at camp. After we got done setting up and we were hanging around at camp, we had seen a man that had exited the main trail and went up this one incline and was there for a bit. So I went to check it out to see if we had any neighbors or to see if there was any type of view up there. Once we got up there, I saw that not only was there a view of the mountains that would give us a great view of the sunset, but there were other spots where we could set up our tent. So, of course, I decided with all this extra time to move my entire campsite to this new spot under this tree.
I don't think Walter likes camping.
Either that or he needs to get used to it. But yeah, so this is my second campsite. I moved because the trail is down there, so I'll have a bit more privacy. People, I think, are probably less likely to walk up here. I don't know, maybe not. I actually found this area because some random guy walked up here. It is also really hot, which makes sense with the bugs, and there's not a lot of wind, which would help with not only the heat but also the bugs. Right now it's 95. Be uncomfortable and to be bored. It almost looks like it's alive. But it's just a feather. Just a feather. Walter and I laid in the tent to rest and relax in the heat while escaping the bugs outside. We listened to the different birds chirp and fly about, watched some TV, when suddenly Walter started to bark, and I heard stomping feet coming by my tent. I stuck my camera and tripod out of the tent while I looked out of the vent to see who or what was outside when I realized it was the same man with the small day pack that I saw hours before. I could see him moving behind the tree. From my viewpoint, and after looking at the small screen on my camera, it looked like he was hiding behind the tree, weaving back and forth to look at my tent. I heard a loud clank of metal after he disappeared into the trees for several minutes. Then he seemed to come back to the same area behind this tree. Now, looking on a larger screen, I can see that it seems he just happened to pick the sketchiest spot on accident to stop and take off his backpack and have some water to drink. Now I realize that metal clank likely came from his bottle. But after a weird day where nothing had gone to plan, even running into a woman who screamed in terror seeing Walter on trail, shaking while yelling "dog" over and over, and being woken from a nap in the heat, I worried about staying up here all alone at night and him coming back again in the dark. After a few minutes, he disappeared without a sound, a large contrast to how much noise he made when he arrived. I waited a bit before going outside. This didn't seem like a trail that was pleasant enough to traverse twice in a day without finishing the entire loop. I went into the same area of trees that he seemed to go each time that he was here to see if he had some type of camp set up that I had not seen before, to find this makeshift wood teepee build. So I sat with Walter to decide if we should leave. The combination of getting to camp too early, having nothing to do, the bugs, the heat, and now being worried about being visited in the middle of the night made me decide that maybe tonight was not the best night for my first solo backpacking trip. So we headed back down the trail. And this is what I meant about how I didn't think it was the best trail for someone to want to traverse twice in one day. Not particularly beautiful, but the views are pretty good. After, we saw the same view that we had already seen, but now it was night, and the same sun rays that we caught in the morning, shining through the treetops, greeted us in the evening. The same bugs that glittered in the sky were there again for us to brighten up the day and to wash away all those worries and fears that we once held at the top of a mountain alone at a campsite. So right now I am in a bit of a hurry because we are going to go do something new together that we haven't done before that hopefully will be nice and pretty, and I'll see you there. This is BAPS Mandir in Chino Hills, California, a Hindu temple with an exterior made of pink sandstone from India. It was a place that I had saved on my map for somewhere to visit if I'm ever in the area. I participated in their prayer ceremony that welcomes guests in a room where photos and videos are not allowed, which is bright white and decorated with intricate hand-carved Italian marble. I wanted to give a special thank you to a few people who have helped me so much. Kimberly, Dennis, Chon, Adventures in Life, and Robert. I appreciate you guys. You have helped so much and you are so very kind. Thank you for being here. Everyone else, thank you also for being here. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hype the video so I can catch you on the next adventure. Bye! Thank you so much, members. Casey, Living La Vida Astro, RJ, Robert Lee, Hit the Road Jack, and AJ.